So just wanted to pick your brains from a different perspective. So I coach a lot of up-and-coming small businesses that are feeling the crunch and are tied to inventory. They're focused on getting out to market and selling, but they're not anticipating what we're experiencing now. So if you were just going to advise entrepreneurs who are highly based at an inventory-based business, and they need to be careful just with all that you know, the ebbs and flows, any just general advice, for the young entrepreneur to say, hey, these are some best practices, whether it's technology, just so they can have the product to sell instead of waiting so long because they didn't know about enough vendors, or they just didn't know what they didn't know.
Here would be my piece of advice. You're going to find a ton of companies in the freight and transportation space who say, oh, we give you the tools to do it yourself. Go a different direction. Here's the problem. When you look at companies that are saying, oh, we've got a small business solution where we empower you, give us your credit card, we'll make it easy to book freight. You're giving the tools to handle their supply chain to the folks who don't necessarily come from a supply chain world. We're giving self-service as an industry, not Nextracking, but as an industry, we're giving self-service to the wrong folks. So that's problem number one. To counter that, find a 3PL that you trust, third-party logistics provider, that is taking companies through this and help them out. One of my favorite stories is there's a health drink company that when they got started, their founders said to me, I went to Google and my first 50 search results and first 50 phone calls were to movers who were moving apartments. And they couldn't actually handle my goods because I was looking for a trucker. They didn't know what they didn't know. So find a 3PL. The first question to ask a 3PL is, what type of redundancy do you have? And what type of diversification do you have across your warehousing space? Inevitably, something is going to go wrong in the supply chain. We've seen it for the past couple of years, more so than ever. So having plan B and C already in place to overcome that is really going to be critical for startups as they're helping you scale. Presumably, they're not hiring a chief supply chain officer on day 5, right? Which is fine. Find somebody that can serve in that role in an outsourced fashion as a 3PL and that can actually educate the company and help them through that.